Hey everybody, Sherry Genesis here, popping out another video over today. I wanted to come on and also just discovered about this tag, and I think it was like, what, 2 nights ago, and I'm like, where has this been all my whole life? I needed this tag forever and ever and ever ago. How did I not know about it? So here is my addition to the Poetrytube Newbie Tag. And I have the questions here. The original video is by Strip Cover Lit. And I'll try to link the description, link the video, the original video, in my description box below. But here are the questions. Nobody tagged me, so I tagged myself. You gotta do that sometimes. You have to do that sometimes. Nobody tagged me, but I tagged myself because I wanted to do it. Okay. So here's the questions. Question number 1. Do you read and write poetry, or do you just read it? I read and I write poetry. I am a spoken word poet as well as a inspiring author. So poetry has been a part of my life since as long as I can remember. I often joke and say I was the weirdest kid ever because how I got into writing, I don't think a lot of people get into it the way I do, but I've been writing poetry my entire life, but I got into spoken word poetry in 2012. Yes, we're gonna go with that. I think it was 2012 that I've gotten into it, and that was totally by accident. It was a freak chance, and now I can't do without it. It's life, and it's freedom, and it's bliss. And why don't people like poetry? Why don't more people like poetry? It is. I'm gonna go off on a tangent. But anyway, question number 2. Who is your favorite poet? I have several. And I don't think it's fair to them to choose just one, because there are several. And I just like anything that speaks to my soul. I don't care if it's a sonnet or a haiku or free verse. If it speaks to me, it speaks to me. So I have so many that I love. Of course, you know, your classics. I love me some Shakespeare, Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes. Who else can I name drop? And I love poets you've never even heard of, you know, from my home country. So I can't choose just one, but if you speak to my soul, you speak to my soul, and that's just it. Question number 3. What is one question you would ask your favorite poet? I think it's a question across the board. You okay? Some of this stuff. Oh, you know, you love it when you're going through a certain season, but then you read it when you're like in a different mood and you're like, oh, okay. Boo, you okay? You know? So I think that's my question. Are you okay? Question number 4. Your favorite poem. Okay. I can't choose just one, so I'll choose 2. First one, by the great himself, William Shakespeare. Let not the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Oh, I'm sure that man knew how to get chicks. I'm telling you. I love that poem. And my second favorite is by Maya Angelou, Still I Rise. I'm not even going to do it for you. I don't think you're ready. So I'm not going to do that one. Still I Rise. Anyway, moving on. Question number 5. What is your favorite poem to read out loud? It's another Maya Angelou, phenomenal woman. Phenomenal woman. Yeah, that's me. Anyway, moving. I'm having too much fun. Y'all, I am having too much fun. Moving on. Who is your Mount Rushmore of poetry? Maya Angelou, Shakespeare, Dickinson, Emily Dickinson, Langston Hughes. I don't even think this is Mount Rushmore anymore. I think we're going for, the Hokage of the Leaf Village type situation. Because more and more gets added every day. I just love poetry. And like I said, if you speak to my soul, you speak to my soul. And that's just it. Question number 7. What is your favorite poetry collection? I can tell you what's not my favorite poetry collection. I won't. I'm not going to get in trouble. But like I said again, I just love poetry. There's something about it that I think is very underappreciated in this world. And while I love the written poetry, and I definitely engage in it, my upcoming collection is definitely more written, but I thoroughly enjoy spoken word poetry, because that gives the poet the opportunity to speak their poem. And there's something about that. When you speak your own poem and you're feeling the rawness of the emotion that you were feeling when you wrote it, there's something about that is just mesmerizing and enthralling and rolls over you like silk. Can you tell I like poetry? Question number 8. Rhyming. Talk about it. Yes? No? Not anymore? Yes! Yes! Is it even a poem if it has a rhyme? No, I was kidding. I'm totally kidding. Yes. I have a disturbing propensity to rhyme. I don't know why. I don't know how. But I just do it somehow. I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like rhyming, even though it's not necessary in every situation, I feel like rhyming really showcases a poet's mastery of their language. If you can pull two seemingly unequal words that are unequally yoked, and you can bend the language to still make it make sense and sound good, that's a recipe for amazingness right there. I love it. Yes, rhyming. Yes. Okay, question number 9. Barring free verse, what is your favorite poetic form? I still like the good old the sonnet. I still like the sonnet. Yes, I do. Free verse as well is great. But like I said, if it speaks to me, it speaks to me. If it's free verse and you're just writing stream of consciousness and, you're stroking something that I'm dealing with at the moment, you've got me. If you write a haiku, listen, I know we poets like to bash the Insta poetry, and God, there's good reasons why, but if it speaks to you, it just speaks to you, Question number 10. Humor in poetry. Absolutely. I think poets in general have the propensity to really make their poetry, what's the word? Sad? And just deep all the time. And sometimes that's called for and that's absolutely necessary. But the job of a poet, I feel, is to encapsulate and to capture an emotion. And nothing is more important to the human story and essence than humor, because that's what lightens up a bad day. That's what lightens up a bad situation. So humor in poetry is absolutely necessary, especially if you have a collection. In my personal opinion, don't at me, but in my opinion, I feel like if you have a collection that is really deep, you really need some poetry in there. You some humor in your poetry in there to kind of give a well balanced view. I don't like reading collections just one emotion through the whole thing. I don't want to come out feeling like I need Jesus and a prayer. You know, I need some. I feel like there needs to be balance in everything. So if it's deep, you gotta have some humor to kind of bring a person back, because words are powerful, and especially poetry is very powerful. So we that wield the sword of poetry must be careful to wield it well. Ooh, hey, that might go in a poem you don't even know. Question number 11. What elements do you think contribute to the best poetry realness? If the poets can convey what they're feeling in that moment without making it cheesy, and even if it's cheesy, make it real. Realism is, I think, the backbone of poetry. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in the flowery words, and I love me some flowery words. So, you know, pot can't kill the kettle black there, but, you know, I feel like a poet needs to reach deep on the inside. And part of what took me so long to even get on here is because for me, my poetry is intensely personal. It is intensely personal because I write about real things, you know, experiences, ups and downs of life, and, you know, breakthroughs and breakdowns, you know. So you need, as a poet, I feel you should stroke something on the inside of your reader. If they don't feel something, you didn't do your job. Point blank, period. Flowery poetry has its place, but for me, I'm very strong in my opinion. I know I get a little passionate, but for me, realness, absolutely, bar none, hands down. Well, I hope I didn't bore you, but I'm having too much fun. So once again, the poetry tag, the Poetrytube. Let me slow down and actually speak. The Poetrytube Newbie Tag completed. Nobody tagged me, so I tagged myself because I wanted to do it. So I'm sorry if that was an issue and I had to be tagged. I'm sorry, don't at me, you know. But hey, at me and let's connect, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to discover community here, because like I don't have a lot of writerly friends around me, so I need that community. So I'm hoping we can all connect. Sherry Genesis, Go Chronicles, check it out. Bye.